Let the air move through you, as if it were a tide, rising and falling without hurry. Above you, somewhere beyond the thin shimmer of our atmosphere, there is a silence so deep it almost hums. It is the hush of space, vast, patient, and filled with quiet companions drifting through endless night. Tonight we journey among them. Across our solar system, more than 200 moons glide around their planets, each one a small world with its own story. Some are seas of ice, others are deserts of fire. Some cradle oceans deep beneath their crusts, while others are little more than captured fragments of stone. Yet all of them, in their turning and circling, help shape the fates of their parent worlds. If you could watch them long enough, you would see their orbits sketching perfect geometry. Ellipses nested inside. Ellipses, each one guided by gravity's patient hand. And if you could listen, perhaps you would hear something like a slow cosmic waltz. The whisper of a moon moving through magnetic fields. The faint sigh of ice shifting under tidal strain. The static crackle of a geyser erupting into vacuum. The universe is not silent. It simply speaks in frequencies too slow for our ears. The moon of Earth has long been our teacher in this quiet language. For thousands of years, its waxing and waning guided early calendars, harvests, and rituals. Its pale light reflected off ancient seas long before cities existed. And through all of human history, it has remained the same. A face, familiar, and yet untouchable. When Apollo astronauts left Earth in the late 1960s, they entered that realm of silence for the first time. They looked back and saw our planet as a blue sphere suspended in blackness. That image, Earthrise taken by astronaut William Anders, would change how humanity saw itself. A single world half-lit and fragile, floating beside its quiet companion. They are reminders that creation is not uniform. It is spontaneous, playful, and patient. Far beyond the reach of sunlight, there are moons where oceans lie beneath miles of ice, warmed by invisible tides. On Europa, a moon of Jupiter, the ice shell is etched with dark lines, fractures, where the surface has stretched and frozen again. Beneath it, scientists believe lies an ocean containing more water than all the seas of Earth combined. There, in the darkness, chemistry stirs. On Enceladus, a smaller moon of Saturn, plumes of water burst into space through cracks at the South Pole, forming icy geysers that rise for miles before falling back as snow. Cassini, the spacecraft that once circled Saturn, flew through those plumes and tasted traces of organic molecules, the building blocks of life. And then there is Titan, Saturn's largest moon, wrapped in orange haze with rivers and lakes, not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane. In Titan's cold, dense atmosphere, it rains, it flows, it evaporates. A full cycle of weather just like Earth's, but made of entirely different materials. Such places are both alien and intimate. They remind us that the forces shaping life are not unique to our world. They whisper that we are connected even to the cold and distant. If we drift still farther past Neptune's orbit, we reach Triton, a frozen moon that orbits backward against the direction of Neptune's spin. It was likely captured long ago, pulled from its wandering path into Neptune's deep blue gravity well. Triton's surface vents jets of nitrogen gas into the thin air, creating geysers that rise several miles high. It is a world both alive and dying, its orbit slowly decaying its future, a spiral toward destruction. Yet even in that slow fall, there is grace. In time, Triton may be torn apart, its remains forming new rings around Neptune. From loss, beauty will return. The cycle continues. Imagine standing on a moon's surface, perhaps on Ganymede, where auroras ripple across the sky in soft green waves, or on Enceladus, where sunlight glints off the ice fields like powdered glass. The silence would not feel empty. It would feel vast. You would sense motion all around you, even though everything seems still. You would realize that even in stillness, the universe is alive with change. On Jupiter, the gravitational tug-of-war among its moons keeps their interiors warm through friction, a process called tidal heating. This invisible energy fuels the volcanoes of Io, the geysers of Europa, and the oceans below. Without those mutual pulls, these worlds would freeze entirely, locked forever in silence. Even rings owe their existence to moons. Saturn's icy bands are shepherded by tiny satellites that nudge and sculpt them, keeping the particles in graceful order. These moons, some only a few miles across, act as guardians, cosmic artists, shaping one of the most beautiful sights in the solar system. Everywhere we look, moons remind us that gravity is not just force. It is relationship, a connection that endures across unimaginable distances. In recent years, astronomers have begun to find hints of moons beyond our solar system, exomoons, orbiting planets around distant stars. These discoveries are challenging, for the light from those systems is faint and easily lost in glare. But through the subtle dimming of starlight and delicate shifts in planetary motion patterns, emerge that suggest moons are as common as planets themselves. If this is true, then our galaxy may hold trillions of them, an ocean of small worlds circling suns we will never see with the naked eye. Some of those moons may have oceans, like Europa's, or atmospheres like Titan's. Others may be barren, cratered stones, but together they tell us that companionship is woven into the fabric of creation. No world drifts alone. And perhaps that is why the moon feels so familiar, so personal. When we see it rise, we feel its pull not just on the oceans, but on our thoughts, our memories, our sense of home. Astronomers studying the moon today still find wonder in its simplicity. The laser reflectors placed there by Apollo missions continue to work, allowing scientists to measure the moon's distance with astonishing precision within an inch. From that data, we learned that the moon drifts away from us by roughly 1.5 inches each year. Slowly, invisibly, it is leaving, but the bond remains. Even as it recedes, its gravity holds our tides. Its light guides our nights. Its presence steadies our spin. Distance does not weaken connection. It refines it. Tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine those countless moons, from the icy edges of Europa to the shadowed craters of our own, each one turning, each one glowing faintly in borrowed light. Some circling gas giants that fill half their sky, others orbiting tiny planets barely bright enough to shine. The same light that touches your face once touched them. The same gravity that holds you to the earth holds them in their eternal motion. We are all in some quiet way part of this same grand dance, a choreography written by physics but felt as beauty. So breathe again slowly. Let the vastness settle around you. For in this great silence you are not alone. You are surrounded by companions drifting softly, endlessly together. Long before continents had names and oceans found their rhythm, our moon hung much closer to the newborn Earth, an enormous glowing presence in a sky filled with volcanic smoke and storm. Its pull on the young planet was fierce, lifting tides that rose hundreds of feet higher than those of today, pushing and pulling at the seas until they roared across the coasts like liquid mountains. Earth spun faster, then completing a full rotation in less than 20 hours, while the moon circled in tight orbit, a fiery globe above molten seas, locked in a gravitational embrace that has never truly broken. Over billions of years, that embrace has softened into something more delicate, a quiet, invisible exchange of motion and time. Even now, the two worlds continue their slow conversation. Each day, as the tides rise and fall, a small portion of Earth's rotational energy transfers into the Moon's orbit, like a heartbeat echoing across distance. This transfer causes the Moon to drift away from us by about 1.5 inches every year. So little we would never notice, yet so steady that it shapes the rhythm of our world. As the Moon recedes, Earth's spin slows ever so slightly. Our days lengthen by fractions of a second over centuries. The process is imperceptible, yet constant. A reminder that even the quietest forces in the universe are never truly still. This cosmic drifting is not decay. It is transformation, a gradual settling of energy, a kind of peace written into the laws of motion. The same gravitational tides that once tore rock from the Earth now bring harmony to the system they created. It is the universe's version of growing old, together, slower, calmer, still bound by the same unseen force that began it all. When astronauts placed small mirrored panels on the Moon during the Apollo missions, they unknowingly gave us a way to listen to this slow pulse. Even today, scientists fire laser beams toward those reflectors. Their light, traveling almost 250,000 miles, before touching the lunar dust and bouncing back to Earth. The returning beam is faint, like the echo of a whisper, but it tells us the exact distance between the two worlds with inch-level precision. From that light, we know that the Moon is still gliding away. The signal travels there and back. In just over 2.5 seconds, 2 heartbeats of light carrying across the vacuum, a message 4 billion years old. We are moving apart, but still connected. Each tide that moves against the shore slows Earth's rotation by a fraction of a fraction. It seems impossible that something as gentle as water could slow an entire planet, yet it does. Every century, our day lengthens by roughly 0.002 of a second. It is almost nothing, and yet over millions of years, that nothing becomes everything. In the age of the dinosaurs, a day lasted only about 23 hours, and a year held more than 370 dawns. The Moon shone larger tides, crashed harder, and nights glowed brighter as the ages passed. The rhythm slowed like a heartbeat calming after a long run, until Earth and Moon found their present pace, a balance between push and pull. When we look up at the Moon full and luminous, it feels timeless, but every crater and valley on its surface tells a story of change. The Maria, those dark, smooth plains visible even to the naked eye, are ancient lava fields, frozen remnants of the time when the Moon's interior still pulsed with heat. Its airless surface holds the memory of every impact, every burst of fire and dust since the dawn of its existence. From a distance, it appears motionless. But from the Moon itself, Earth would be the one that moves, a bright blue sphere hanging in the sky. Its clouds shifting its storms, spinning its continents, glinting in sunlight. For a lunar observer, Earth would never set, never rise, only sway gently in the blackness, rocking like a lantern in slow motion. Elsewhere in the solar system, other moons share similar stories. Mars, for instance, has 2 tiny companions, Phobos and Deimos, captured long ago from the asteroid belt. Phobos orbits so close that it completes 3 laps around Mars for every Martian day. And tides are slowly pulling it inward. In perhaps 40 million years, it will fall apart under gravity's stress, scattering into a thin, ghostly ring around the planet. Deimos, the smaller of the 2 drifts, slowly outward, leaving behind its sibling, escaping into deeper space. Both moons, like ours, are engaged in the same slow exchange of motion, one falling, one fleeing, both bound by gravity's invisible strings. In these subtle movements, we glimpse a universal truth: everything that circles changes. If we look far into the future, the moon's gradual retreat paints an image both strange and serene. In 50 billion years, long after the sun has changed into a faint ember, the moon will have moved far enough that the Earth's rotation will match its orbit perfectly. The two will become tidally locked, each showing only one face to the other. The same hemisphere of Earth will forever gaze upon the same hemisphere of the moon. No more moonrises, no more moonsets, only eternal companionship suspended in stillness. The system will continue to turn together slowly, quietly, as if time itself has taken a deep breath and finally rested. This future is poetic, but unreachable. No human eyes will see it. Yet it exists not as prophecy, but as consequence, a truth written into the physics of motion. Even the most tranquil balance is born from energy exchanged, from the ceaseless dialogue between bodies that never stop affecting one another. And perhaps that is what the Earth and Moon remind us, that balance is not the absence of movement, but the perfection of it. Still here and now, the moon continues its ancient pattern. It waxes and wanes, grows full and fades again, repeating its soft cycle with the precision of a heartbeat. To our ancestors, this was sacred rhythm. Farmers planted seeds by its light. Sailors trusted its pull on the tides. Poets traced its glow in verses about renewal and return. Long before we could measure its distance or explain its orbit, we knew its meaning. We understood wordlessly that the moon is the mirror of life's continuity, a silver echo of time's eternal flow. Today, that echo endures. The same light that shimmered on ancient oceans now glows across cities, rivers, and mountains. It spills across windows and sand, across every quiet landscape beneath the night sky. The moon still rises steady and luminous, reminding us that we live within its influence, not beyond it. Its motion, though distant, shapes every tide, every shadow, every calm moment, when the world feels hushed and whole. So when you look up tonight and see its calm face gazing back, remember that it is not still, but slowly moving away a little farther than yesterday, a little closer to forever. Its drift is not departure. It is devotion written in motion too vast for us to see. The same gravity that pulls the seas holds you too. You are part of that same gentle system, part of the same long story of movement and grace. There was a time, long before human eyes ever traced its light, when the moon was alive. Not alive with forests or oceans or the warmth of air, but alive with fire, breathing through cracks in its crust, exhaling gases into a delicate sky that shimmered for only a brief span in cosmic history. The moon we see tonight, silent and pale, is the cooled remnant of a world that once glowed with molten seas and volcanic heat. In those first hundreds of millions of years after its birth, the moon's surface was not the calm, cratered plain we know. It was a turbulent landscape of magma and ash, churned by the energy of its own formation. Scientists believe that our moon emerged when a Mars-sized body, a world we call Theia, collided with the infant Earth about 4.5 billion years ago. The impact vaporized rock and sent a spray of molten debris into orbit, glowing like liquid sunlight as it cooled and began to merge. From that chaos, gravity shaped a sphere, and the moon was born. At first, its surface was a rolling ocean of molten rock, more sea than stone. Slowly, this magma cooled and crystallized, forming the highlands, those pale, rugged regions that still catch the light of sunrise. The heavier minerals sank deeper, forming a dense core, while lighter minerals floated upward, solidifying into the crust. For a time, the moon radiated warmth into the darkness, a lantern above the young Earth. But deep within that newborn body, heat still lingered. Radioactive decay and the gravitational tug of the Earth kept its mantle restless. Volcanoes rose and burst, pouring lava across vast plains. These flows would later cool into the dark regions we call Maria Latin for seas, though they are seas of stone. Between 2 and 4 billion years ago, eruptions reshaped nearly a third of the lunar surface, filling craters with dark basalt and leaving behind smooth plains visible from our world even without a telescope. Each eruption sent gases into the thin void: water vapor, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, sodium, and traces of hydrogen. For a fleeting moment, the moon had an atmosphere. It was fragile, ephemeral, perhaps lasting only tens of millions of years before solar wind stripped it away. But in that brief time, the moon truly breathed. Its faint exhalations wrapped around it like a transparent veil, scattering light and shielding the surface just enough to allow subtle chemical changes. It's hard to imagine that world, now looking at its silent face. But the evidence remains. The minerals that hint at once flowing gases, the glass beads found in lunar soil that formed in the heat of explosive vents, the shadows of rills carved by lava channels long gone cold. Scientists have even detected traces of water trapped inside tiny volcanic glass particles brought back by Apollo astronauts. Proof that the moon's fire carried water from its interior to the surface long ago. In the moon's polar regions, some of that ancient vapor may still rest frozen in the shadows of craters that never see sunlight. These areas, called permanently shadowed regions, are colder than any place on Earth, hundreds of degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Here, water ice has persisted for billions of years, preserved in darkness. When we look at the South Pole through telescopes or orbiting satellites, we see glints of this buried frost, and we are reminded that even the most barren worlds can hold secrets of persistence. Once the moon's volcanic breath thickened its atmosphere enough that a person standing there, if any had existed, might have seen a faint shimmer along the horizon like heat waves over desert sand. But the sun's wind, a steady stream of charged particles, eventually stripped it bare. In time, the moon exhaled its last, and the vacuum returned. From that silence forward, no air has stirred there again. Now the moon lies still, a body, without weather, without erosion, its landscape frozen in eternal record. Every impact, every eruption, every tremor is written into its crust. Even moonquakes, the gentle tremors recorded by Apollo instruments, echo through that silence, caused not by tectonics, but by the slow cooling and contracting of rock beneath the surface. The moon shrinks imperceptibly, with each century developing long cliff-like ridges called lobate scarps. They are the wrinkles of an aging world, the quiet sighs of cooling stone. This stillness makes the moon a time capsule. It has no rain to wash away its history, no wind to erase its scars. When you gaze at its face, you are seeing billions of years at once, each crater a frozen moment, each plain a cooled sea. It holds the memory of the solar system's early violence, preserved so perfectly that scientists study it to understand Earth's own forgotten past. For while our planet has changed through erosion, tectonics, and life, the moon has simply remembered. The Apollo missions gave us more than rocks. They gave us perspective. The astronauts who walked on that silent surface reported that the ground beneath their boots smelled faintly of burnt gunpowder lunar dust, warmed by sunlight, sharp and metallic. That dust, called regolith, is made of shattered fragments from countless impacts, ground to powder by time. Every grain carries a record of cosmic collisions, of solar storms, of the ceaseless exchange between light and matter. When astronauts looked up from that grey plane, they saw Earth hanging above the horizon, glowing blue and alive against the black. And in that view, perhaps they realized that our world too was once as fiery and fragile as the moon. Scientists now know that the moon's youthful heat and brief atmosphere were not unique. Similar processes shaped other moons. Io, for instance, still breathes today, its sulfur volcanoes erupting under Jupiter's intense gravity. But unlike Io, our moon cooled and quieted, preserving its volcanic relics rather than renewing them. Its silence became its identity. Yet within that silence, traces of motion remain. Tiny meteorites still strike its surface daily, raising brief puffs of dust that fall back slowly through near weightless air. Charged particles from the solar wind dance across its magnetic fields, creating a faint temporary exosphere of atoms hovering just above the soil. These are echoes, faint reminders that even a still world participates in the universe's endless motion. The moon's story is one of transformation, from molten chaos to patient stillness. It began as a child of fire and became a keeper of memory. It once glowed with heat-exhaled vapors and held a sky, if only for a little while. Now, it reflects sunlight back to us, cold and calm, the same light that warms our seas and feeds our days. It no longer breathes, but in a different way. It allows us to breathe easier, to know our origins, to measure time, to find balance in the cycles it still controls. When we look at the moon, we are not just seeing a rock in space. We are looking at the frozen echo of our own beginnings. Its formation gave Earth stability. Its tides nurtured life. Its light guided the first migrations, the first calendars, the first dreams of worlds beyond our own. And in its stillness, it continues to guide us, a reminder that even silence can speak. Even darkness can shine. So, when the night is clear and the moon glows above you, imagine that ancient world, glowing red beneath volcanic skies, breathing for a moment before falling quiet forever. Picture the thin shimmer of its lost air, the last sigh of its molten heart cooling into stone. And know that this same light you see tonight once rose above fiery seas and storms beyond imagining. The moon has changed, but it has never truly stopped moving. It continues its journey outward, endlessly circling, endlessly reflecting. And though it no longer breathes, it still lives in the tides, in our stories, in the soft rhythm of light and shadow across every quiet night. Not all moons are smooth or round, like the one we know. Many drift through the darkness, shaped more like stones than spheres, rugged, lumpy, imperfect, yet full of character. These are the small moons, the fragments and wanderers of the solar system. They were never large enough for gravity to sculpt them into perfect orbs. Instead, they remain frozen mid-formation, the raw pieces of planetary history left over from creation itself. Each one is a relic of chaos, holding the shapes of collisions, the scars of time, and the beauty of imperfection. Mars, our red neighbor, offers two of the most famous examples, Phobos and Deimos. Both are irregular, battered worlds that look more like asteroids than proper moons. Phobos, the larger of the two, is only about 14 miles across. It orbits Mars so closely that it races around the planet 3 times each Martian day. Its shape is distorted, uneven, with deep grooves and craters that stretch like claw marks across its surface. Some scientists believe those scars are the first signs of its slow destruction, fractures forming as Mars's gravity pulls it inward inch by inch. One day, perhaps 50 million years from now, Phobos will cross a critical boundary called the Roche limit, the point where tidal forces will rip it apart. The pieces will scatter, forming a thin, dusty ring around Mars. For a while, the planet will wear its moon like a crown of ashes, a ring of memory drifting in orbit. Deimos, by contrast, lives a quieter life. Smaller, smoother, and farther away, it drifts outward from Mars, escaping slowly into the cold of space. It reflects little sunlight, just a faint glimmer, almost invisible to the naked eye. To stand on the Martian surface and watch Deimos rise would be to witness stillness itself, a tiny dot moving so slowly that it might take days to notice its change. Phobos rushes overhead like a restless thought. Deimos lingers patient and detached. Together they embody the two extremes of motion, one falling, one fleeing, both destined for transformation. Saturn, with its vast family of moons, hosts some of the strangest shapes ever seen. Among them is Pan, a tiny world barely 20 miles wide that looks like a flying saucer or a piece of ravioli, adrift in space. It orbits within Saturn's A, ring sweeping up dust and ice that have piled along its equator, forming a raised ridge. From afar it seems sculpted rather than formed, as though shaped by a careful hand rather than by nature. Pan's gravity, though weak, is enough to carve a sharp gap in the rings around it. In this delicate balance, the moon both builds and clears, gathering dust, even as it shapes the space it moves through. Then there is Atlas, another small shepherd moon near Saturn's rings, similar in shape, a disk with a bulging waistline formed by the same quiet accretion of ring particles. These moons are reminders that even the smallest bodies can sculpt beauty and structure in the cosmos. Their gravity, faint as a whisper, is still strong enough to leave patterns, ripples of influence, written into the rings of a giant. One of Saturn's other tiny moons, Hyperion, takes strangeness to another level. Hyperion looks like a sponge carved from ice. Its surface is covered with deep honeycomb-like craters, giving it a porous appearance, unlike anything else in the solar system. Its density is so low that much of it is empty space, a loose pile of icy rubble barely held together by gravity. It tumbles chaotically as it orbits, spinning unpredictably, never showing the same face twice. No other moon moves quite like it. If you were to stand on Hyperion, you would never know where the horizon might tilt next. Its motion is a dance of disorder, a slow tumble through Saturn's faint light, timeless and strange. Further out, orbiting Uranus, lies Miranda, a small moon that seems shattered and reassembled. Its surface is a patchwork of mismatched terrains, as though stitched from fragments of different worlds. Towering cliffs rise more than 12 miles high, the tallest known in the solar system. They are so vast that a fall from their edge would take 10 minutes to reach the bottom. Scientists believe Miranda was once broken apart by a massive impact and later pulled back together by its own gravity, leaving visible seams where the pieces fused. It is both fragile and enduring, a survivor of cosmic violence that carries its scars like a mosaic of memory. Small moons like these are nature's sketches, incomplete, raw, and wildly diverse. Unlike the larger rounded moons that act as miniature planets, these irregular bodies still bear the fingerprints of creation. Some were born from collisions, thrown from larger worlds, like sparks from a forge. Others were captured wandering asteroids, drawn in by the gravity of planets as they drifted through the early solar system. Their orbits are often tilted, elongated, or even reversed, circling backward compared to the planet's rotation. Each one tells a story of chance encounters and delicate captures of chaos settling into motion. When we look at these misshapen moons, we are reminded that beauty in the cosmos is not always symmetrical. Perfection is not the rule of nature. Persistence is. These small moons, uneven and unpolished, endure despite their fragility. They hold together against the pull of gravity, against the violence of impacts, against the erosion of time. In them, we see resilience, the quiet strength of worlds that should have fallen apart but didn't. Imagine drifting near one of them, watching sunlight spill across its surface. Shadows would stretch for miles, falling into deep cracks and caverns. The horizon would be jagged and unpredictable. In such places, silence is absolute. There is no wind, no air, no sound. Only the hum of your own heart inside your helmet. And above you, the planet. It orbits looms, enormous in the sky. A giant world, pulling gently at your feet. In the distance, rings shimmer like frozen rivers. Dust glows in the thin sunlight, and time itself seems to slow. These are the quiet sanctuaries of the solar system, small, forgotten, yet full of wonder. Some of these tiny moons have curious orbits that bring them into delicate dances with each other. Around Saturn, Janus and Epimetheus share nearly the same path. Instead of colliding, they exchange places every few years, a cosmic waltz, choreographed by gravity. When one moon catches up to the other, their gravity gently pushes them apart. The inner one moves outward, and the outer one slips inward. Then years later they trade again. This has gone on for millions of years. Two companions locked in perpetual exchange, never touching, never drifting away completely. It is one of the most graceful movements in the heavens. The quiet perfection of motion, balanced between chaos and harmony. Elsewhere, some moons form families, clusters of small satellites that orbit together like flocks. Around Jupiter and Saturn, these irregular groups are believed to be remnants of larger moons shattered by ancient collisions. They follow similar orbits, tilted and elongated, bound by the same gravitational scars that once tore them apart. Each fragment continues to circle its giant parent, proof that destruction in the universe often gives birth to new patterns. And beyond them all, in the far reaches of the Kuiper Belt, countless other moons drift unseen, orbiting icy dwarf planets in the cold dark beyond Neptune. Many are irregular, dim and ancient, untouched for billions of years. Some are only a few miles wide, orbiting worlds, so distant that sunlight takes hours to reach them. There, in the frozen silence, the same story unfolds. Fragments of creation circling quietly, holding together against the odds. These small moons, though often overlooked, are the fossils of the solar system. They are what remain after the grand act of formation, the pieces that didn't fit neatly into planets or were thrown loose by violence and later found a home again. Studying them is like reading the earliest pages of a story written in dust and ice. In their unevenness lies truth, in their imperfection, endurance. So the next time you gaze up at the moon, so smooth, so constant, remember that it too was once rough and molten, a sibling to these odd-shaped wanderers. Across space, hundreds of smaller moons tumble in silence, spinning without pattern, reflecting the faint light of distant suns. They may never be seen by human eyes, but their presence gives texture to the solar system, its rough edges, its quiet debris, its scattered beauty. Every one of them, no matter how small or misshapen, is part of the same cosmic balance. They drift, collide, reform, and drift again, a slow, endless cycle of creation. In their motion, we find the same truth that guides planets and stars alike, that everything in the universe, no matter how irregular, finds a place in the dance. Beneath the frozen shells of distant moons, where sunlight never reaches and night is eternal, entire oceans are hiding. They do not glisten beneath blue skies or ripple in wind, but instead they flow in absolute darkness, ancient seas sealed under miles of ice. These are the hidden waters of the outer solar system, and they may hold not only the secrets of chemistry, but the quiet possibility of life itself. When Galileo first turned his telescope toward Jupiter, he could not have imagined that centuries later we would find oceans orbiting the giant he studied. Among Jupiter's 4 great moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, 2 conceal vast seas beneath their icy exteriors. Europa, the smallest of the 4, has become one of the most fascinating worlds in all of astronomy. At first glance, Europa appears fragile, a smooth white sphere streaked with long red and brown lines, like cracks in porcelain. Unlike our cratered moon, Europa's surface seems freshly made. The ice is constantly shifting, splitting, and freezing again, erasing the marks of time. These ridges and fractures are clues to something extraordinary. An ocean lies beneath. As Europa circles Jupiter, the giant planet's immense gravity stretches and compresses it over and over again. This motion, known as tidal flexing, generates heat deep inside the moon, enough to melt ice into liquid water far below the surface. It is a strange paradox, a frozen world with a living, moving sea beneath it. Scientists believe this hidden ocean may contain more water than all the oceans of Earth combined, vast, unbroken, and ancient. Imagine standing on Europa's surface. The horizon would be flat and blindingly white. The sky, black and star-filled. Beneath your feet, the ice might creak faintly, the sound traveling through your suit like the echo of a heartbeat. Under that ice, perhaps 50 miles below, the ocean churns, warmed by tidal forces, stirred by unseen currents. There could be hydrothermal vents on the sea floor, releasing heat and minerals, just as they do on Earth's ocean floors. Around such vents here at home, life thrives without sunlight. Entire ecosystems of strange creatures sustained by chemistry alone. Could Europa's ocean hold the same miracle? No one yet knows. But the clues are hauntingly suggestive. Plumes of water vapor have been seen erupting from Europa's surface. Geysers bursting through cracks, shooting into space before falling back as snow. Spacecraft passing through those plumes, such as NASA's Galileo and the upcoming Europa Clipper mission, carry instruments capable of tasting their composition. If organic molecules or traces of life are found in those icy sprays, it would change how we understand the universe forever. Farther from the Sun, orbiting Saturn, another world performs a similar magic in miniature. Enceladus, small enough to fit within the borders of Texas, has become a beacon of hope in the search for life. Beneath its bright, reflective crust lies an ocean, and like Europa, it reveals its presence through geysers. At the moon's south pole, 4 great fissures, known as the tiger stripes, split the surface, glowing faintly with warmth. From these cracks, Enceladus ejects fountains of water, vapor ice grains, and organic compounds hundreds of miles into space. The plumes are so strong that they create one of Saturn's rings, the E-ring, a gossamer halo fed continuously by this tiny moon's breath. When the Cassini spacecraft flew through those jets, it detected salts and complex carbon molecules, evidence of a deep, salty ocean rich in chemical potential. To imagine such a world is to enter a dream beneath an icy ceiling. An ocean glows faintly from thermal vents, bubbles rising into eternal darkness. No light, no air, and yet the possibility of energy, of chemistry, of life, stirring in the shadows. Enceladus is barely 300 miles across, yet within it may lie the same forces that once shaped life on Earth. Even Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, bigger even than Mercury, holds secrets beneath its icy skin. Ganymede is unique. It has its own magnetic field, an atmosphere of thin oxygen, and a crust of layered ice and liquid water stacked like a cosmic sandwich. Scientists believe that several oceans exist within it, layers of ice and water, alternating under immense pressure. If we could slice it open like a planet-sized gemstone, we would see bands of light and dark, shimmering with frozen layers deep and silent. Its magnetic field flickers with auroras glowing at the poles where charged particles meet the ice. A moon that behaves like a planet alive with motion, its heart still molten from within. And then there is Callisto, the outermost of Jupiter's large moons. At first glance, it seems dead, covered in craters, scarred and still. Yet even here, beneath 200 miles of ice and rock radar data, hints at a hidden ocean, a relic sea that has survived for 4 billion years. Callisto's silence hides endurance. It may not have the dynamic heating of Europa or the geysers of Enceladus, but it has patience, a quiet persistence that has kept water liquid for billions of years in the cold of space. These ocean worlds are not rare exceptions. Even distant Titan Saturn's largest moon may conceal a salty sea beneath its icy crust. Though its surface lakes and rivers are filled with liquid methane, deeper down lies another ocean of water and ammonia, warmed by the planet's internal heat. Here too the ingredients for life may linger. Each of these moons offers a different version of the same truth. Where there is liquid water, there is potential. It is astonishing to realize that most of the liquid water in the solar system is not on Earth, but on these frozen moons. While Earth's oceans shimmer beneath sunlight, the majority of water in our system lies locked away beneath ice, invisible yet alive with movement. The cosmos, it seems, hides its treasures, well storing its oceans in places where no light can reach, but where warmth endures. From a scientific view, the discovery of these hidden seas changed everything. It expanded the definition of habitability beyond the narrow band of planets close to the Sunday. It showed that life does not require sunlight or atmosphere, only chemistry, energy, and patience. These moons are not barren. They are laboratories of creation, each whispering that the spark of life may flicker even in the farthest darkness. From a human view, they speak to something deeper. They remind us that beneath every surface, even the coldest and hardest, there may be something fluid, something living, something waiting to be found. That beneath silence, there is motion. Beneath stillness, warmth. Europa and Enceladus are not merely icy spheres. They are metaphors for the universe itself, frozen above, alive below. If we could journey there to dip beneath Europa's crust, or dive into Enceladus's geysers, we might find more than microbes or minerals. We might find reflection, a glimpse of how life persists, even when all seems still. For in these moons, the cosmos teaches the same lesson again and again, that life, or at least the potential for it, is not the exception, but the expectation. It arises wherever energy and patience coexist. Perhaps that is why the study of these ocean worlds moves us so deeply. They are not fiery or grand like the Sunday. They do not shine like stars or command attention like gas giants. They whisper rather than roar. Their beauty lies in secrecy, in the unseen motion beneath their stillness. They remind us that the universe too has hidden depths, and that not all miracles burn brightly. Some drift quietly beneath layers of ice, waiting for the right light to find them. So as you listen now, picture it. A moon turning slowly in the dark, its frozen crust cracked like old glass, faint plumes of vapor, escaping into the vacuum. Beneath that frozen plain, an ocean breathes patient, timeless, and alive. In that thought lies wonder enough to carry you to sleep, to remind you that the universe, vast and silent, still hums softly with the possibility of life. They are the titans of the solar system. Immense worlds of gas and storm, each surrounded by a retinue of moons that shimmer like fireflies in orbit. These are the giant planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They rule the outer reaches of our solar system, and around them, dozens of moons drift like ancient companions, each one shaped by the gravity and power of its parent. Together they form miniature solar systems, entire realms within realms where silence meets scale and the laws of motion write their own symphony. If Earth and its moon are a duet, then Jupiter and its family are a full orchestra. The giant planet holds more than 90 moons in its gravitational embrace, from the tiny and irregular to the immense and world-sized. 4 of them stand out: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. The Galilean moons, first seen by Galileo in 1610. Through his small telescope, he watched them move night after night, realizing that not everything revolved around the Earth. Those 4 points of light changed how humanity saw the cosmos forever. Jupiter's size is beyond comprehension. It is more massive than all the other planets combined. Its atmosphere, a storm-torn tapestry of bands and tempests. The Great Red Spot, a hurricane larger than Earth, has raged for centuries. And all the while, its moons circle like dancers in a ceaseless gravitational waltz. Each of the Galilean moons is a world unto itself, distinct in nature and personality. Io is the closest and the most violent. Its surface boils with sulfur and molten rock, reshaped constantly by volcanoes. As it races around Jupiter, tidal forces stretch and squeeze it like a ball of clay, heating its interior until it glows. At any moment, hundreds of volcanic plumes rise miles high, painting the thin atmosphere with dust and color. It is the most volcanically active body in the solar system, a place where fire replaces water and the ground never sleeps. To look upon Io is to witness the planet as it was in its infancy, raw, unstable, and alive with fury. Beyond Io lies Europa, gentle and white, its surface carved by cracks and lines. We have already walked through its mysteries, an ocean beneath the ice, a secret world waiting to be touched. Then Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, emerges, a world so vast it could swallow Mercury whole. It has mountains, valleys, and even its own magnetic field, shimmering with auroras at its poles. Beneath its icy crust, a deep ocean flows, layered and ancient. And farthest out, Callisto orbits in solitude, cratered, dark and old. It is perhaps the most ancient surface in the solar system, untouched for billions of years, a cosmic fossil recording the age of creation itself. Each of these moons, though unique, shares a single story. The power of gravity to sculpt, to heat, to stir motion, even in silence. Jupiter's immense pull is both creator and destroyer. It shapes orbits, fuels volcanoes, and keeps these worlds in constant tension. It is as if the planet itself breathes through its moons, exhaling storms and inhaling tides. Farther from the sun, Saturn glows like a golden lantern, wrapped in light. Its rings, fragile, luminous, impossibly delicate, stretch hundreds of thousands of miles, yet are only a few dozen feet thick. They are made of ice dust and time fragments of comets, broken moons and shattered dreams of worlds that never were. Saturn's rings, though silent, sing of beauty, born from loss. Farther out orbits Enceladus, the small moon with the giant secret, its ocean, and geysers feeding one of Saturn's rings. Then there is Iapetus, half dark, half bright, a moon divided by mystery, with one hemisphere as black as coal and the other as white as snow. It looks like a yin and yang, cast into orbit, a symbol of cosmic duality. And scattered among them are shepherd moons, small companions like Pan and Atlas, guiding Saturn's rings, keeping them aligned, shaping their gaps with subtle gravities. Saturn's system feels different from Jupiter's. Where Jupiter's realm is ruled by chaos and heat, Saturn's feels calm, balanced, almost meditative. Its beauty lies in structure, a harmony of motion. Every moon and ring particle contributes to the whole. Each movement, perfectly timed, perfectly placed. It is a clockwork made of light and silence. Beyond Saturn, Uranus drifts in a blue-green calm, tipped on its side like a sleeping giant. Its moons, Miranda Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon, circle along its tilted equator, following the planet's strange spin. Uranus rolls rather than rotates, turning on its side as it orbits the Sun, giving it seasons that last decades. Its moons share the tilt, creating a sideways ballet of ice and shadow. Miranda's smallest and closest bears cliffs, taller than any mountain on Earth, 12 miles from top to base. The scar of a moon once broken apart and reassembled. The others smooth and icy glow faintly in the soft blue light of their planet. Still farther, Neptune rules the outermost edge of the planetary family, deep blue and distant, with winds faster than sound. Its largest moon, Triton, is unlike any other. It orbits backward, a captured world drawn from the Kuiper belt, likely once a dwarf planet in its own right. Its surface is pale and streaked with nitrogen frost, and geysers of gas erupt from its crust, rising miles into the thin air. Triton is slowly falling inward, spiraling toward its parent planet. One day, it will be torn apart, becoming rings around Neptune, repeating the eternal cycle of creation through loss. Each of these giants, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, tells a story about gravity's artistry. Around them, small worlds move in precise patterns, their fates intertwined. They show us that the universe is not a place of chaos, but of balance, where even destruction creates beauty and silence gives birth to rhythm. The great planets are not alone. They are surrounded by family, by light, by orbiting companions that remind us of connection in its grandest form. If you could stand far enough away, perhaps beyond Pluto's path, and look back upon the solar system, you would see the Sun glowing softly at the center, and around it these vast spheres turning in stately motion. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, would be faint dots, quick and bright. But beyond them, the giants would dominate the scene. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, each wrapped in bands, rings, and clouds, each surrounded by their retinues of moons. Together, they form the grand architecture of our celestial home, the slow, graceful machinery of time itself. For billions of years, they have turned in harmony, their moons caught in the flow, like thoughts around a steady mind. Every orbit is a note in an ancient song, every revolution a verse of quiet balance. The giants breathe in centuries, their days spanning hours, their years stretching into decades or centuries. Time moves differently there, slower, deeper, vast and unhurried. To gaze upon them is to see endurance made visible. In their presence, one feels the humility of scale, how small we are, yet how perfectly placed within the same cosmic rhythm. The same gravity that binds these titans binds us. The same light that glows on Saturn's rings warms the Earth and fills our lungs. In the silence between their orbits, one can almost hear it, the faint hum of the universe, continuing steady and eternal. And so, as the great planets drift through their endless circuits, carrying their moons like gentle thoughts, we remember that companionship is woven into the fabric of existence. Even in the farthest reaches of darkness, no world travels alone. Not all moons endure. Some are lost to the gravity that once held them, broken apart or swallowed by the very worlds they orbited. Others were never truly moons to begin with, just wanderers, asteroids caught for a moment in a planet's pull before drifting away again. The story of the solar system is not only one of creation and harmony, but also of loss and quiet dissolution. Every fragment that circles in darkness, every speck of dust in a ring, is the remnant of something that once was whole. The universe keeps no sentiment for its architecture. It builds and breaks with equal patience. A moon can orbit for billions of years, yet in time, tides and friction conspire to undo it. Some spiral inward, their paths decaying as they draw closer to their planets, pulled faster and faster until they cross a line beyond which no world can remain intact, the Roche limit where gravity tears rather than holds. It is a quiet kind of ending, the way light fades at dusk, gradual and inevitable. Phobos, the inner moon of Mars, is one of these doomed companions. With each orbit, it edges closer to its planet by a fraction of an inch. The same tidal forces that have sent Earth's moon drifting outward work in reverse here. Mars pulls Phobos down, tugging at it relentlessly. In about 50 million years, it will be torn apart, its rubble scattering into orbit as a faint dusty ring. For a brief while, Mars will wear that ring like a halo, an echo of the moon it once held dear. Then even that will fade, and the dust will fall back to the surface, painting the red plains with a fine layer of ash. Farther away, in the realm of Saturn, destruction and creation coexist in balance. Saturn's magnificent rings, those luminous bands of ice and rock, may themselves be the remains of a lost moon. Some scientists believe that long ago, one of Saturn's ancient satellites wandered too close, shattered by gravity's force. Its debris spreading into the thin, flat circle we see today. Those rings, fragile as they seem, will not last forever. Over time, the tiny ice particles lose energy, raining slowly down onto the planet's atmosphere, a celestial snowfall that will over eons erase the rings entirely. What remains then will be memory, the ghost of a moon that became beauty before vanishing. This pattern of loss is repeated everywhere. Jupiter's immense gravity has captured and destroyed countless small bodies, asteroids that wandered too near, fragments that collided and burned. The same power that gives Jupiter its family of moons also makes it a devourer of them. It is both parent and predator, protector and destroyer, a reminder that in the universe, every force wears two faces, and yet even as moons die, new ones are born. When a moon breaks apart, its fragments can gather again, forming clusters of smaller satellites or coalesce into rings that eventually spawn new moons. It is a cycle of disassembly and renewal. The universe wastes nothing. Everything becomes something else in time. The dust that falls from a shattered moon may one day become part of another, or drift through space until caught by gravity, again beginning a new orbit, a new story. In this constant transformation, even the smallest particles have meaning. Around the outer planets, countless tiny moons, some no more than a few miles wide, drift unseen remnants of ancient collisions. They are the crumbs of cosmic creation, the scattered leftovers of formation. Each one tells a fragment of time, a piece of a larger pattern we may never fully see. When sunlight catches their icy surfaces, they glitter faintly like memory illuminated for a moment before fading back into dark. It is difficult sometimes to think of loss on a cosmic scale, to imagine worlds dissolving, moons crumbling entire systems, changing shape while we sleep. Yet this process is not cruel. It is natural, even gentle. The death of a moon does not mark an end. but a transformation, energy, and matter moving onward, as they have since the beginning of time. Elsewhere, moons have vanished completely, their existence known only through gravitational clues, faint wobbles in a planet's motion, hints in the patterns of rings. Astronomers sometimes detect these absences, like footprints in dust, where no body remains. They remind us that the universe is always in motion, always rewriting itself. Nothing here is permanent, yet everything persists in another form. Even Earth bears the memory of lost companions. Early in its history, it may have had multiple moons. Some models suggest that after the giant impact that created our moon, smaller fragments orbited alongside it. Over time, these minor moons either merged with the larger one or fell back to Earth, leaving behind no trace but the scars in ancient rock. We live with the survivor, the one that endured. There are also ghost moons, temporary companions that circle our world for a short time before drifting away. Tiny asteroids caught briefly in Earth's gravity orbit us for a few months or years before continuing their journey around the Sunday. They are visitors rather than residents, silent reminders that our planet still moves through a sea of debris, surrounded by the remnants of its own making. If we could stand beyond all of this and watch time unfold like a sped-up film, we would see a solar system in constant transformation. Moons breaking rings, forming fragments, falling, and merging again, a choreography of creation and dissolution played out over billions of years. Nothing would seem still. Every orbit would pulse. Every collision would scatter seeds for something new. The balance would never be perfect, but it would always be beautiful. And somewhere in that vision, we would see ourselves. We too are fragments of stars born from the debris of older worlds. The atoms in our blood were once parts of suns, moons, and dust that fell across space long before Earth existed. Just as moons circle planets, and planets circle stars, and stars circle the heart of the galaxy, we are bound by the same motion, drawn endlessly toward one another by invisible threads. The lost moons remind us that impermanence is not an absence of meaning, but its essence. What fades makes room for what follows. What falls apart feeds what rises. Even destruction, when seen from far enough away, is a form of creation. So when you look at the night sky and see the moon shining above, remember that it too is slowly changing. It will drift away until the tides weaken and the earth slows, and in that stillness, a new kind of balance will come. All that seems constant is only momentary. All that vanishes leaves something behind. The rings of Saturn, the grooves of Phobos, the quiet fall of Triton, each is a sentence in the long story of renewal. The universe keeps no record of sorrow, only of motion. It carries every piece forward, reshaping, rebalancing, creating new patterns from the old. In that motion lies grace, the same grace that lets a moon fall and become light, or dust, or something unnamed, yet still beautiful. Every day, though, we seldom notice it, the entire planet breathes. The oceans rise and fall, their edges sliding gently up and down the shores, drawn by a force older than the continents themselves. This is the heartbeat of Earth, the tides, the endless inhalation and exhalation of water that connects every sea, every bay, every coast. And it is the moon, our steadfast companion, that keeps this rhythm alive. When the moon pulls on Earth, it lifts the oceans toward it, creating a bulge that follows the moon's orbit. On the opposite side of the planet inertia, the tendency of matter to keep moving creates another bulge, and together, these two swells form the high tides that move around the world each day. The oceans stretch and relax, As Earth rotates beneath these gravitational waves, their motion so smooth and vast that it feels like stillness. Yet, this gentle tug of the moon, acting through gravity alone, moves billions of tons of water twice every day. It is an invisible hand shaping the face of the Earth. The tides are more than just water rising and falling. They are cycles of balance connecting the heavens and the sea in an unbroken dialogue. Without the moon, our tides would still exist, pulled weakly by the sun, but they would be faint, almost still. The moon adds pulse rhythm power. It turns the planet into a living organism, its liquid body shifting in response to the sky. The oceans are its lungs, and the moon is its breath. Long before humans measured time by clocks, they measured it by tides. Fishermen, sailors, and farmers learned the moon's patterns by sight alone. The waxing crescent, the glowing full, the fading sliver of the waning phase. Each stage told them where the tides would be, when to fish, when to plant, when to travel the coasts. In that rhythm, early humans found predictability, comfort, and connection. They understood the link between sky and sea instinctively, long before the language of gravity existed. Even today, the tides shape our world in quiet ways. They mix the oceans, circulating nutrients that sustain marine life. They stir the shallow seas, helping coral reefs breathe, allowing oxygen to reach the depths. They carve coastlines, sculpting cliffs, estuaries, and bays with patience beyond comprehension. Over millions of years, tides have written the geography of continents, the edges of islands, the shapes of deltas, the sinuous arms of river mouths. Each wave that withdraws carries grains of sand away only to return them elsewhere. It is a constant rewriting of the planet's borders, wordless and eternal. On a calm night, if you stand by the shore and watch the water creep upward, you are watching the moon's work. The pull you feel, though invisible, is ancient. The same force that once stirred the first life in the tidal pools of early Earth. 4 billion years ago, as the young moon orbited much closer, tides were immense waves, hundreds of feet high, racing inland, and then retreating, mixing the oceans with raw energy. And though time has softened the tides, they still speak to life in every corner of the sea. The smallest creatures, plankton, drifting near the surface, rise and fall with them. Whole ecosystems, from coral reefs to coastal wetlands, time their patterns of feeding and reproduction to the moon's pull. Sea turtles crawl onto beaches under full moons to lay their eggs, guided by ancient instinct. Certain fish spawn when the tides reach their highest points, ensuring their young are carried safely to the open sea. Even birds and plants respond, their rhythms subtly aligned with the moon's cycle. The entire biosphere, from the depths to the shores, dances to this gravitational song. But the moon's influence is not limited to the sea. The same gravitational pull affects the solid Earth itself. The planet's crust flexes and relaxes by inches every day, invisible to us, but measurable. Scientists call this Earth tide, a gentle stretching of rock and soil as the moon passes overhead. Even the atmosphere responds, with air pressure rising and falling in faint correspondence to the moon's position. Everything, stone, air, ocean, and life, moves together under its touch. It is remarkable to think that the moon, though smaller than Earth and nearly 250,000 miles away, has such power. Yet gravity, though weak in small measures, becomes mighty over time. Its reach is infinite, its patience eternal. It is not forceful but persuasive, guiding everything through subtle attraction. It reminds us that strength need not shout to be felt, that the softest pulls can move the greatest masses. When we look at the tides, we are witnessing the essence of balance. The sun pulls too, though, from far greater distance, and its influence combines with the moon's to create the tide's familiar patterns. When the sun, moon, and earth align during new and full moons, their combined gravity creates spring tides higher and lower than usual. When the moon is at a right angle to the sun, their effects counter each other, producing neap tides, gentler and more even. In these alternating rhythms, the cosmos writes a lesson in equilibrium, a steady harmony between competing pulls. Even the slow retreat of the moon, moving outward from Earth year by year, subtly changes the tides. As it drifts away, the tidal forces weaken the ocean's breathing slows. In millions of years, Earth's rotation will lengthen further. The days will stretch longer, and the seas will move in a quieter rhythm, but they will never stop. The relationship between Earth and Moon may evolve, but it will endure a quiet dialogue, continuing across eons. And when you close your eyes, you can almost feel it. The slow rising of the tide, the long exhale, as it falls away, the pause, in between, when the water seems to hold its breath. That pause, that stillness between motion, is where peace lives. It is the same peace that holds planets, in orbit, moons in motion, hearts in rhythm. Our ancestors stood under the same moon, hearing the same tide. They felt its pull before they could explain it, trusting it without needing to understand. It governed their calendars, their migrations, their myths. To them, the moon was not a cold sphere of stone, but a living presence, a mother, a guide, a light that ordered their days and nights. Perhaps they knew, in a way, modern science only confirms that we belong to this motion, that the pull between Earth and Moon is not mechanical, but meaningful, a connection written into the fabric of who we are. So when you next walk along the shore and see the silver path of moonlight trembling across the water, know that it is a reflection not only of light, but of connection. A reminder that every motion from the waves at your feet to the orbit of the moon itself is part of one great rhythm. The same force that moves the sea moves your body, your breath, your heartbeat. You are part of the tide, and the tide is part of you. The moon's pull, gentle and constant, has shaped our planet since before life began. It will continue long after we are gone, keeping time for the Earth, as it always has a slow celestial metronome, marking eternity in cycles of rise and fall. Light is the language of the cosmos. It travels across impossible distances, touches worlds, and reveals their faces. Without light, even the most beautiful moon would remain unseen, a silent traveler wrapped in shadow. But when sunlight reaches it, something extraordinary happens. The barren surface becomes luminous, the darkness transforms into glow, and what was once invisible becomes a companion to the night. Light turns silence into poetry. Our moon does not shine on its own. It reflects the sunlight that touches it, scattering it softly back toward Earth. And yet this reflected light feels personal, almost intimate, as if it knows the faces that gaze upward toward it. It has been the same for as long as there have been eyes to look. The light you see tonight is ancient, unchanged, shaped only by dust and rock and distance. It carries the story of every moonrise, before it the same silver path that guided travelers, inspired poets, and kept the rhythm of time for generations beyond counting. If you were to hold a piece of lunar soil, you might be surprised at how dark it really is. The moon's surface reflects only about 12% of the sunlight that reaches it, darker than worn asphalt. But the surrounding space is so black, so devoid of competing light, that even this faint reflection appears radiant. The illusion is profound. We see brightness where there is little beauty born from contrast. It is a quiet metaphor that even a small light can fill a great darkness. Every full moon reminds us of that truth. When it rises round and complete, the world changes character. Shadows soften, oceans shimmer, and even the air seems to hold its breath. The glow of moonlight is unlike any other, gentle, diffuse, almost liquid. It smooths edges, cools colors, and makes the familiar seem sacred. Ancient cultures understood this instinctively. They called the full moon a mirror of the soul, a reflection of sunlight tempered by the stillness of night. Light, reflection, and shadow are the three voices of every moon's story. On worlds like Europa or Enceladus, the ice reflects light with dazzling purity, gleaming white against the black sea of space. On others, like Io or Iapetus, light plays against sulfur and shadow, painting alien landscapes in gold and coal. Some moons, like Enceladus, are so bright that they can cast shadows in the darkness of Saturn's orbit. Others, like Himalaya or Phoebe, are nearly invisible. Their surfaces so dark they reflect only a few % of the sun's light, absorbing rather than returning its warmth. But the beauty of light on the moon goes beyond reflection. It reveals time. Every crater, every ridge, every valley changes its appearance depending on the angle of sunlight. When the moon is full, its details vanish under the bright flood of light. But when the moon is a crescent or half-lit, the shadows grow long, carving its surface into depth and relief. The line between light and dark, the Terminator, moves slowly each night, uncovering the landscape piece by piece. Watching it is like watching a slow sunrise over a silent world. The same play of light and shadow happens on moons across the solar system. On Europa, sunlight glances across icy cracks, making them glimmer like frozen rivers. On Titan, the sunlight filters through a haze of orange clouds, dim and distant, but persistent. On Triton, pale nitrogen frost sparkles faintly as Neptune's faint daylight reaches it. Even in the coldest regions, where the sun is just a bright starlight, still finds a way to touch every world to leave its trace. Light is not only seen, it is also measured. Scientists use the way light reflects from a moon's surface to learn what it's made of. The brightness, color, and polarization of reflected light reveal the composition of ice, rock, and dust. Even the tiniest differences tell stories. Traces of methane here, iron there, silicate dust between. Through light, we read what distance hides. The universe speaks, and we listen by watching how it glows. There is a quiet poetry in that. That light, which has no substance, carries all knowledge across the vacuum of space. It crosses billions of miles without slowing, never tiring, never fading, until it meets something that can reflect it. And in that reflection, it tells the story of where it has been. For the moon reflection is destiny. Its beauty lies not in itself, but in what it gives back. It is both humble and generous. A world content to shine with borrowed light. There is something deeply human in that. The way we too reflect what we receive, turning experience into expression, observation into meaning. The moon teaches us that brightness does not always come from within. Sometimes it comes from how we hold the light that reaches us. Every phase of the moon is a chapter in that lesson. The new moon hides gathering darkness. The crescent appears delicate as a whisper. The first quarter divides the face between night and day. The full moon reigns in brilliance. Then it wanes again, a gentle reminder that all things rise and fall, glow and fade, only to return. This cycle has no beginning and no end, only transformation. It mirrors life itself. Creation, fullness. decline, renewal. Even eclipses those rare alignments when Earth's shadow swallows. The moon are not endings, but pauses. During a lunar eclipse, the moon glows deep red as sunlight filters through Earth's atmosphere. Every sunrise and sunset happening around the world bends together, casting their combined hue onto the moon. It is as if the Earth itself breathes color into its companion for one quiet hour. That blood-red light is both eerie and tender, a reminder that even in darkness, connection remains. From a distance, if one could watch Earth and Moon together, they would appear as twin lights, one blue and alive, the other silver, and still forever trading the sun's gift between them. The same beam of sunlight that warms our oceans, glances off mountains of lunar stone, crosses space again, and returns to us as moonlight. It is a circle of illumination that has continued for billions of years, and so the moon's reflection becomes our reflection. We see our own world more clearly because of it. We understand time, rhythm, and the fragility of beauty because of that soft silver light that returns to us each night. The moon does not speak yet. It tells us everything we need to know about patience, humility, and endurance. The universe is full of light, but it is also full of shadows. One gives the other meaning. Without darkness, light would be unseen. Without reflection, it would go unnoticed. In every orbit, every glimmer, every quiet lunar glow, we are reminded that illumination is not constant but relational. A gift passed between worlds, between hearts, between moments. Darkness is not absence. It is the canvas upon which the universe paints its light. Between the stars in the long stretches of cosmic night, the moons drift silent, unlit, yet enduring. Most of them spend their lives unseen, circling in shadow, never bright enough to touch the human eye. But even in darkness, they keep their orbits steady, their paths sure. They are the quiet companions of the deep witnesses to time without needing to be known. In the space beyond Saturn, where the sunlight fades to a dim whisper, there are hundreds of these small, irregular moons, fragments, captured wanderers, survivors of collisions and ancient migrations. They are neither large enough to become round nor small enough to disappear. Some are shaped like stones, others like splinters or shards, their surfaces rough, dark, untouched by light. To the human eye, they would be invisible. To the instruments of our spacecraft, they are faint, flickering specks against the black. Each of these moons carries a story, written in silence. Many are captured asteroids, remnants of the early solar system, that found themselves bound by the gravity of larger worlds. They tumble and spin their rotations, chaotic. Their orbits tilted and stretched. They circle their planets in strange directions, some even backwards, defying the motion of the worlds they orbit. These are the retrograde moons, the rebels of the night sky, evidence that the solar system is not static but dynamic, wild, unpredictable. Triton, Neptune's great moon, was once one of these wanderers. Scientists believe it began its life in the Kuiper Belt, a frozen frontier filled with ancient bodies of ice and rock. Perhaps it orbited the Sun alone once before Neptune's gravity caught it. That capture was not gentle. It tore apart Neptune's original moons, scattering them into oblivion. Triton remained moving backward in defiance of its new master. Its orbit now decays slowly, almost imperceptibly. One day, perhaps billions of years from now, Triton will drift too close, pulled apart, becoming a ring, a final offering to the planet that claimed it. Such stories repeat throughout the outer system. Many of the small moons of Jupiter and Saturn are thought to be captured fragments, prisoners of gravity caught mid-journey. Their orbits, eccentric and tilted, speak of violence long past. Some scientists suggest that long ago there were fewer larger moons, but collisions shattered them, and gravity gathered the pieces back into swarms. These clusters still circle today, moving in quiet harmony around their distant hosts, like memories orbiting the mind of a dreamer. In the far reaches beyond Neptune, the dwarf planets too have their moons. Pluto has 5. Eris, Haumea, and Makemake each have companions of their own. Even in the coldest, loneliest corners of the solar system, worlds find partners. Some of these relationships are so balanced that it becomes impossible to say which is the moon and which is the planet. Pluto and Charon, for example, orbit a shared center of gravity that lies outside both of them. Two bodies locked in mutual orbit, forever facing each other, turning together through the dark. It is not a planet and its moon, but a duet, a cosmic dance of equals. These companions of darkness remind us that isolation is rare in the cosmos. Even in the outer cold, where the sun is no more than a bright star, gravity binds worlds together. Where light cannot reach, connection persists. The universe does not allow complete solitude. Even in silence there is relationship. If we could drift out there far past the warmth of the inner planets, we would see these dark moons as faint silhouettes crossing the dim glow of their distant suns. Some would be pitted and scarred, others smooth and icy. A few would spin slowly, taking weeks to turn once. The starlight would glint briefly off ridges or frozen plains before disappearing again. Around Neptune, we would see Triton's pale surface streaked with nitrogen frost and faint geysers, venting gas into the thin atmosphere. Around Uranus, we would find the Shakespearean moons, Oberon, Ariel, Miranda, Titania, umbrial worlds of ice and shadow named after human imagination. Each is scarred with canyons and cliffs, remnants of forces long asleep. Among them, Miranda stands out, a moon shattered and reassembled its surface, a patchwork of broken terrain. Great cliffs, some taller than Mount Everest, divide the landscape, plunging into darkness. It looks like a world that has been torn apart and healed again. Perhaps it is a survivor of some ancient catastrophe rebuilt by gravity's slow embrace. Even in its silence, Miranda tells a story of endurance. Beyond Uranus, we would pass Neptune's family of moons, a collection of dark, distant bodies that orbit like faint thoughts around a distant mind. There is Nereid, with its wild, elongated orbit moving closer and farther from Neptune, as if undecided between freedom and belonging. There is Proteus, nearly the shape of a cube, its surface battered and grey. There is tiny Naiad, locked in a complex dance with its sibling Thalassa, weaving orbits so precise they never collide. Each one, though small and obscure, is part of a choreography too perfect to be coincidence, the language of gravity whispered in darkness. These far-off moons are not lifeless in spirit. Though they lack the glow of ice or the warmth of volcanic activity, they remain dynamic in their own quiet way. Radiation micrometeor impacts and the subtle tug of distant suns continue to reshape them. Even in the coldest shadows, change is constant. Over billions of years, these small worlds evolve not through fire but through patience. In their silence, we can learn something about endurance. Not everything in the universe needs light to exist. Some things persist purely through motion, through presence, through gravity's invisible hold. The dark moons remind us that meaning does not depend on being seen. They are unseen yet essential, holding their planets steady, influencing their orbits, contributing to the delicate balance of entire systems. The farther we travel outward, the more we understand how fragile and temporary our idea of light really is. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a realm of frozen bodies and distant companions, the leftovers of creation. Here, even the sun's warmth fades almost completely. The moons here are so cold, their ices never melt, so dark they seem carved from night itself. Yet in their stillness, they preserve history, the original materials from which all planets and moons were born. They are fossils of the solar system, drifting untouched for billions of years. Every spacecraft that has ventured outward from Voyager to New Horizons has found these companions, waiting. New Horizons, when it passed, Pluto revealed the complexity of its surface. Frozen plains, mountains of ice and shadows cast by a dim, distant Sunday. And beyond it, even more moons and dwarf planets wait to be discovered, each carrying a piece of the story of formation, of endurance, of quiet persistence in the dark. Darkness, after all, is not emptiness. It is the pause between beats, the breath between notes. Without it, light would have no meaning. The moons that dwell in shadow are as vital to the solar system as the luminous ones. They balance the equation, give weight to the beauty we see, remind us that silence too is part of harmony. Perhaps that is why the night sky feels comforting rather than frightening. We sense, even without words, that darkness holds us, surrounds us gently, just as it holds the stars and the moons. The same gravity that keeps those distant worlds in orbit holds us here, breathing under the same cosmic fabric. We belong to this darkness, not as lost travelers, but as companions within it. So tonight, as you look upward and see the few bright points that pierce the black, remember that for every shining light, there are countless unseen worlds drifting quietly, holding their place, shaping the heavens without ever being noticed. The universe is not made only of what glows, but of what endures unseen. From silence, worlds are born. From impact, balance emerges. Across the solar system, the story of every moon begins not in peace, but in motion, a slow choreography of gravity and collision of fire and patience. To understand the companionship of moons is to understand creation itself. For every orbiting world carries the memory of its birth within its motion. The moon of Earth, the one that glows softly above your night sky, began as chaos. Around 4.5 billion years ago, our planet was still forming, molten, restless, spinning too fast. Then, from the cosmic dark, another world appeared. Roughly the size of Mars, this body, which scientists call Theia, struck the young Earth with unimaginable force. For a moment, the solar system shuddered. Mountains, melted oceans of magma rose like waves, and a vast plume of rock and vapor was thrown into space. From that glowing ring of debris, gravity began its quiet work. Dust became stone, stone became clumps, clumps became a sphere. And when the fire finally cooled, a new world circled the Earth. Our moon is not merely a satellite. It is the child of collision, the memory of an ancient impact frozen in orbit. Its surface still carries the record of that violence, not as chaos, but as order reborn. The Maria, the great dark plains, are scars of molten rock that once glowed red and flowed freely under a young Sunday. Over time, they hardened into tranquility, just as Earth did. The two worlds, once one now turned together, forever fragments made whole by separation. But Earth's moon is only one example of creation's endless variety. Across the cosmos, other moons are born in different ways. Some torn from their planets, others captured from wandering space. Still, others coalesced beside their hosts in the calm cradle of formation. Every method tells the same truth. Nothing in the universe truly stands alone. Every planet, every moon, every particle exists through relationship, through gravity's gentle insistence that everything must orbit something else. Around Jupiter, for example, the Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede and Callisto, formed together from a swirling disk of gas and dust, much like miniature planets around their star. In those early days, Jupiter's gravity shaped the rhythm of their orbits, locking them into precise resonances. Io burns with volcanic fury. Europa hides an ocean beneath ice. Ganymede hums with a magnetic field of its own. Callisto sleeps beneath a crust, untouched for billions of years. 4 worlds, 4 stories, each born from the same nebular material, each shaped by time in its own way. Around Saturn, beauty took a different path. Here, moons and rings share a delicate relationship, creation and destruction occurring side by side. Some moons, like Enceladus and Dione, coalesced gently from the icy remnants of Saturn's disk. Others, like Pan and Prometheus, formed later, sculpting the rings themselves. Still others, fragments of older worlds, were torn apart by Saturn's gravity, becoming part of the shimmering halo that circles it now. Creation and dissolution are not opposites here. They are partners. The debris of one moon becomes the building blocks of another. Even in loss, there is renewal. Neptune's great moon, Triton, tells yet another story, a tale of capture. Once, an independent wanderer of the Kuiper Belt, Triton strayed too close to Neptune and was caught in its gravitational embrace. The capture was violent, slowing Neptune's rotation and tilting its axis. But over time, their movements synchronized. Now Triton circles Neptune in the opposite direction of its spin, slowly spiraling inward. One day, far in the future, it will be torn apart by the same gravity that claimed it its remains, forming a ring, another act of cosmic recycling. Each of these origins, collision, co-formation, capture, destruction, reveals the universe's endless creativity. There is no single way to build a world. The cosmos is patient, flexible, and generous with its possibilities. And within each method lies the same quiet principle: balance, emerging from imbalance, harmony, born of motion. Imagine these events not as sudden explosions, but as long, slow breaths of time. The collision that birthed our moon lasted only minutes, but its aftermath unfolded over millions of years. Dust circled, condensed, and cooled. Gravity sculpted chaos into order, like a sculptor refining a rough stone. Every world, every moon, is a work of art carved by physics and time. When we look at the moon tonight, we see more than a companion. We see history illuminated. We see the memory of a universe that learns through creation and destruction, that refines itself through repetition. Even in its silence, the moon tells a story, from impact to orbit, from fire to reflection, from one world into two. In a sense, all moons are storytellers. They preserve the history of their systems in their surfaces and motions. The craters on our moon mark the violence of the early solar system. The icy cracks of Europa record the pressure of tides. The shattered faces of Saturn's small moons whisper of collisions and capture. They are journals written in stone and ice, keeping record of a time before memory. The idea that moons can form from destruction carries a quiet beauty. It reminds us that creation is not always gentle, that sometimes the most lasting bonds come from moments of chaos. Earth's moon stabilizes our world, controls our tides, and reflects our light. Yet it exists only because of a cataclysm that nearly ended us. Out of loss came balance, out of violence, serenity. This pattern is not unique to our corner of the cosmos. Astronomers have observed exoplanet systems around distant stars. each with their own debris, disks, moons, and rings in the making. In infrared light, they see dust swirling like golden mist, planets coalescing, satellites taking shape. The same story plays out everywhere. Collisions, captures, orbits balance the quiet mechanics of companionship repeating across time and space. Even now, the solar system continues to evolve. Saturn's small shepherd moons still sculpt its rings, gathering and dispersing matter in eternal rhythm. Jupiter's gravity still tugs on its moons, maintaining their resonant dance. Our own moon still drifts outward, reshaping the Earth's tides. Nothing is static. Creation is not an event. It is a process that never ends. In this light, the formation of moons becomes more than a scientific phenomenon. It becomes a meditation on resilience. Every scar, every crater, every orbit speaks to endurance. Moons are the universe's quiet survivors, forged in violence, sustained in peace. They remind us that balance is not the absence of change, but its transformation into harmony. And when we study them, we are in a sense studying ourselves. The same physics that pulled dust into moons once pulled atoms into stars and later into the matter that became you. The same cosmic forces that shaped orbits shaped the neurons that form thought. We too are outcomes of collisions of chance and gravity and light. The story of how moons are born is ultimately the story of how everything becomes itself through connection, through change, through the quiet, patient sculpting of time. In every crater lies a lesson that destruction can give way to beauty, that separation can lead to balance, and that every ending carries the seed of a beginning. As the camera of your imagination pulls back, you might see the solar system as a great gallery of companions, each planet orbited by moons, each moon shaped by the memory of creation. Some bright, some dark, some small, and misshapen others, vast and smooth, all of them moving in their endless loops, all of them telling the same soft truth. The universe is not built on permanence, but on motion, and in that motion lies peace. Beyond this chapter, other worlds wait to be remembered, moons that watch, that record, that endure. Their stories continue in silence, written in light and orbit. There are worlds in the solar system that do not change anymore, worlds that have surrendered to stillness, content to remain as they were billions of years ago. Among them drifts Callisto, one of Jupiter's great moons. It circles the gas giant slowly far from its storms, and radiation belts wrapped in silence and ice. To look upon Callisto is to look backward through time, to see the solar system as it once was preserved in frozen memory. The camera of the mind drifts closer. Callisto fills the frame. Not bright and smooth like Europa, not restless like Io, but scarred and ancient, covered in craters that stretch for hundreds of miles. Its surface looks like grey marble, cracked by eons of history. Every depression, every ridge, every faint line carved into that surface is an artifact. Unlike other moons whose surfaces are renewed by geological activity, Callisto's face has remained untouched for nearly 4 billion years. There are no volcanoes, no shifting plates, no winds, only stillness and the patience of time. In this way, Callisto is not just a moon, it is an archive, the record of a young solar system etched into stone. Each crater is a story of collision and survival, a fossil of cosmic debris that once filled the skies. Long before Earth had continents or air, Callisto was already collecting memories, preserving them in a language written by impact. Its entire surface is a library without words, a quiet ledger of everything that has touched it. The oldest of these scars are older than the continents of Earth. They tell us of a time when the solar system was wild, a time when planets and asteroids collided constantly, when gravity sculpted chaos into orbits, when worlds were still deciding who they would become. And through it all, Callisto watched. It endured, silent and unchanging, through storms of rock and ice. It saw creation's violence fade into calm. Even now, Callisto drifts far enough from Jupiter to avoid the great planet's magnetic storms. There, in the cold outer reaches of its orbit, radiation fades. The sunlight is weak. The temperature near absolute stillness. The surface remains frozen, in shadow. The ice mixed with rock has turned dark, ancient, and inert, a time capsule from the dawn of the solar system. Scientists sometimes call Callisto the most heavily cratered world we know. It is a title both grim and noble, for in those craters the record of time survives unbroken. Each impact that would have erased evidence on other worlds simply added another line to Callisto's ancient script. The moon accepted every mark, every blow, and kept it. It did not erase, it endured. The silence here is not empty. It is full of patience, of remembrance, of weight. Imagine standing on Callisto's surface, where the horizon curves slowly beneath a black sky. Jupiter hangs enormous above, glowing softly in the dark, its bands and storms churning silently in the distance. The stars beyond remain sharp and unmoving, untouched by atmosphere. You would hear nothing. Not even your own heartbeat for sound cannot travel here. Only your breath crackling in your suit, the faint hum of life against infinite quiet. In that moment, you might feel what ancientness truly means. You are surrounded by 4 billion years of memory, by the trace of everything that ever was. Each crater beneath your feet is older than language, older than bone, older than thought. Here, time does not pass, it accumulates. It piles gently like dust until eternity becomes a landscape. It is easy to think of moons as lifeless stones, but in places like Callisto, life persists in another form, the life of memory, of continuity. These moons do not grow or move or breathe, but they witness, they remember. And in their remembering, they keep the balance of the universe intact. They remind us that even stillness serves a purpose: to hold, to preserve, to listen. In the same way that fossils on Earth tell stories of ancient seas, Callisto's craters tell stories of celestial tides. Each impact came from somewhere: an asteroid born near Mars, a comet drawn inward from the outer belt, a shard of matter left over from creation. Every piece carries history, and when it strikes, it adds a chapter to the moon's eternal book. And yet, despite its stillness, Callisto is not entirely dead. Beneath its icy crust, some believe there may still be an ocean, a faint, dark layer of liquid locked beneath miles of rock and ice, kept from freezing by the faint warmth of radioactive decay. If that is true, then even this most ancient of witnesses may hold a secret pulse of life hidden far below the scars of time. It would be a fitting irony that the oldest, most silent world still hides something living deep within. Callisto's endurance mirrors a cosmic truth that to survive, one does not always need to change. Sometimes survival means simply existing, holding still while the universe rushes around you. Jupiter's other moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, are full of energy and transformation, reshaped by tides and heat. Callisto is different. It is content to remain what it has always been. In its immobility lies wisdom. The ancient world teaches by example that stillness is not stagnation. It is clarity. It is the preservation of truth. through time. The Earth changes constantly. Weather, water, wind erasing and rewriting its own story. But Callisto keeps every page. And so when we study it, we glimpse a history older than our world can remember. In this way, the moon becomes more than a scientific object. It becomes a mirror for reflection, a meditation on age, on patience, on the endurance of being. Every crater you see under the faint sunlight is a pause, a breath taken by the universe itself. As the mind's camera begins to pull away, the surface fades into soft shadow. The craters blur into texture, then into gray, then into silence. Jupiter glows again in the background, immense and timeless. Around it, other moons move like thoughts around a mind, each one holding a different kind of memory, a different expression of time. Callisto remains still. Its voice, if it could speak, would be slow and measured, perhaps saying, "I have seen it all. I have forgotten nothing." The narration softens. The music becomes sparse single piano notes, distant like echoes traveling through deep ice. You can almost hear the silence between the notes, a sound older than sound itself. Callisto drifts through darkness, unchanged yet eternal. It is not alone. Across the cosmos, there are countless others, moons, asteroids, fragments, each bearing its own marks of time. Together, they are the memory of creation, orbiting forever in the dark. And just as these worlds remember, so do we. In every study, in every image, in every quiet night spent looking upward, humanity participates in their remembrance. We are, in a sense, new witnesses joining the old ones, minds made of stardust reflecting on stone. As the chapter closes, Callisto fades back into shadow, and Jupiter turns slowly behind it. The light softens, the music quiets to a hum, and the narration whispers like a thought at the edge of dreaming. Even silence remembers. For billions of years, the moons watched in silence. Then one small world, a pale blue planet, orbiting an ordinary star, began to look back. Out of oceans and dust rose a species that wondered, a creature that lifted its eyes and saw the heavens not as a ceiling, but as a question. And among all the stars and wandering lights, one face never changed: the moon. It was always there, glowing softly, following every generation through time. The moon became the first mirror of human thought. Long before telescopes, before language, even before stories were written, ancient humans saw it rise and felt its pull. Its phases shaped their lives. The waxing crescent marked beginnings, the full moon celebrations, the waning, a time for rest. Crops were planted by its rhythm, rituals aligned with its light. It was both clock and compass, a gentle teacher in the dark. But as humanity's curiosity deepened, so did its reach. In the early 17th century, Galileo Galilei lifted a simple telescope to the sky. Through a small circle of glass, he saw what no one before him had truly seen. The moon was not smooth or divine. It was a world. Mountains rose and cast shadows. Craters curved like ancient bowls. Valleys stretched beyond the limit of his lens. The heavens, once perfect and untouchable, were revealed as real, imperfect, and alive. Galileo's trembling sketches of those lunar features changed everything. They marked the moment when wonder became understanding, when awe met observation. From that day, the moon was no longer just a symbol, it was a neighbor. Humanity for the first time felt not only curiosity about the sky, but kinship with it. Centuries passed, and the gaze never left. Telescopes grew larger, clearer, more powerful. The moon, always visible yet distant, became a goal, a place to touch. The line between dream and discovery thinned, and then one quiet day in July of 1969, it happened. A small craft descended from orbit. Dust rose in slow motion. A voice calm and steady crossed the void. The Eagle has landed. When Neil Armstrong stepped onto the surface, the ancient stillness of the moon met the fragile breath of humanity. His footprint pressed into dust that had not moved for eons, dust older than all recorded history. That single step was not just a triumph of technology, but of imagination. The moon, once unreachable, now held the imprint of a being that had evolved under its light. From that moment, the bond between Earth and Moon became tangible. For the first time, we were both observer and participant, both the watched and the watcher. Instruments were placed on the surface mirrors, designed to reflect laser pulses from Earth. Those tiny flashes of light, invisible to the eye, measure the moon's distance with precision, confirming what theory long suggested, that it drifts slowly away, inch by inch, year after year. Each pulse of light, a heartbeat, a conversation across the void. Even now, those reflectors remain, silent, gleaming, dust-covered. When a beam of light leaves, Earth travels to the moon and returns. It carries with it a whisper: we are still here. We are still listening. It is a quiet exchange between worlds. The Earth spins, the moon circles. Light travels between them, like a thread, thin, luminous, unbroken. The human story and the lunar story have always been intertwined. The moon has shaped our myths, our calendars, our tides, and our sense of time. In return, we have given it our gaze, our poetry, our science, our footprints. The two worlds move together, evolving not just physically, but emotionally, bound by gravity and now by memory. Think of the generations who have looked up and seen the same silver glow. The same patterns, the same phases, the same tranquil beauty. Empires have risen and fallen under that light. Forests have grown and vanished. Oceans have shifted their shores. Yet, the moon's face remains constant, a patient witness to every age. There is something profoundly human about that constancy. In a universe defined by motion and change, the moon offers stillness. Its cycle repeats endlessly, reassuring us that not everything disappears. It waxes and wanes, but always returns a reflection of the cycles within us, breathing, growing, resting, beginning again. When we look at the moon, we see not only the cosmos, we see ourselves reflected back. Its surface carries the story of our curiosity, our longing, and our courage. The same gravitational force that pulls on our oceans seems to pull on our imagination, drawing us outward toward the unknown. And though the footprints left by Apollo may fade over eons, the gesture remains a mark upon time itself. Humanity, for one brief moment, extended its reach beyond its birthplace. It touched the ancient witness not to conquer, but to understand. Now new eyes watch from orbit. Robotic probes map the lunar surface in exquisite detail. They reveal mineral traces, frozen water, hidden in shadowed craters and landscapes, shaped by both violence and peace. We know more about the moon than ever before, yet its mystery endures. Knowledge has not erased wonder, it has deepened it. And so the relationship continues the same as it has for billions of years, yet now conscious. The Earth still turns. The moon still drifts. But between them, something new glows: awareness. The understanding that we are part of the same story, that our presence is an extension of a conversation that began long before life itself. When you stand beneath the night sky and see the moon, you are participating in that dialogue. You are part of a lineage that stretches from Galileo's trembling hand to Armstrong's steady step, to every scientist, poet, and dreamer who has ever looked upward and whispered, "Why?" And perhaps that question, quiet, endless, loving, is the true connection between humans and the heavens. For the moon in its patient orbit is more than rock and dust. It is a teacher reminding us to ask, to listen, to reach gently. In the great scale of the cosmos, our achievements may seem small. A single footprint, a beam of light, a telescope pointed skyward. Yet these gestures ripple outward, adding to the same rhythm that shapes orbits and tides. They are our way of answering the silence. The human thread is woven through space not by engines or machines, but by curiosity, by the desire to understand what watches us from above. It connects every age, every thought, every breath that pauses beneath the night sky. And as the earth continues to turn, the moon continues to move. The bond between them, between us, remains unbroken. It is a thread spun from light and gravity, from memory and hope. Look upward tonight, and you will see it, that soft, pale glow, distant, yet near. The moon does not speak, but it listens. It holds every gaze, every dream, every reflection. And in that quiet exchange, humanity finds its place in the vastness. Beyond this, the story expands once more outward into the dark oceans of ice and vapor, where other moons wait in silence, perhaps carrying the spark of life itself. Beyond the pale circle of our moon, the solar system drifts in quiet rhythm. Worlds spin moon's orbit, and the long echo of creation continues. Yet among these frozen companions, there are places where something extraordinary may stir worlds, that whisper of oceans beneath ice of chemistry, at the edge of possibility of warmth, where there should be none. Tonight our journey turns toward those distant moons, where the question of life lingers like a soft pulse in the dark. For centuries, humans believed the Earth was unique, the only cradle of living things. But the more we have looked outward, the more the universe has seemed to mirror us. Planets circle stars by the billions. Moons gather in their orbits, and everywhere the same elements, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, drift through space waiting for a spark. It is in this quiet familiarity that hope takes shape. Perhaps life is not a rare event, but a natural one. A thread woven through the cosmos, patient and persistent. Among the most promising of these worlds are Europa, Enceladus, and Titan. 3 moons that in their own silent ways remind us of home. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, gleams like glass. Beneath its smooth, pale surface lies an ocean vast, global, and deep. The ice above is fractured into intricate lines, as though the moon's surface has been etched by invisible fingers. These cracks are not scars, but signs of motion. Tides raised by Jupiter's gravity stretch and flex Europa's crust, generating heat that keeps the ocean below liquid. There, in the darkness beneath miles of ice, scientists believe water meets rock, a place where minerals dissolve, energy flows, and chemistry awakens. If life exists beyond Earth, it may not need sunlight. It may thrive instead on warmth from within, feeding on chemical reactions rather than light. On Earth, deep beneath the oceans, entire ecosystems survive around hydrothermal vents, communities of strange glowing creatures that live in eternal night, nourished by the planet's inner fire. Europa may hold the same kind of secret life, without sky hidden beneath frozen stillness. Farther away around Saturn lies Enceladus, small, bright, and brilliant, with mystery. It too holds an ocean beneath its icy crust. But unlike Europa, Enceladus does not keep its secrets to itself. From cracks near its south pole, towering geysers of water vapor and ice erupt into space, forming Saturn's faint E-ring. Each plume is a message, a fragment of the ocean below flung into the void. When spacecraft like Cassini flew through those plumes, they tasted the ocean's breath. Inside were salts, organic molecules, and hints of heat, all the ingredients necessary for life. It was as if Enceladus had exhaled, revealing for a moment that beneath its frozen shell the moon was alive in a way we had never imagined. Then, there is Titan, Saturn's largest moon, a world wrapped in orange haze, where methane falls as rain and rivers of liquid hydrocarbons carve valleys into ice mountains. On its surface, lakes ripple under a thick, cold atmosphere, the only place beyond Earth known to have stable liquids. The chemistry there is alien, no water, no oxygen, and yet it is rich with carbon-based molecules. Perhaps Titan is not alive now, but holds the ingredients and energy that under different conditions could someday give rise to something that breathes. Each of these moons carries a reflection of Earth's past or potential, a variation on a theme written across space. They remind us that life is not a singular miracle, but a spectrum of possibilities. Some worlds might carry life in familiar forms. Others may nurture versions of it beyond our understanding. Life that does not breathe oxygen or rely on sunlight. Life that waits quietly beneath a crust of ice or within a drop of methane rain. The beauty of this search lies not only in discovery, but in humility. The universe is not built for us, and yet it welcomes the question we ask of it. Are we alone? Each time a spacecraft captures light from a distant ocean moon, that question deepens. Each analysis of ice and vapor expands our imagination, and each hypothesis brings us closer to realizing that life in one form or another may be as natural to the universe as stars or stones. To stand on the shore of such understanding is to feel awe. Imagine drifting above Europa, seeing the faint glow of sunlight scattered across its icy plains. Imagine diving beneath, through the miles of frozen silence, into the black ocean, below a world of pressure and darkness, perhaps filled with unseen motion. There even a single cell, a single chemical heartbeat, would change everything we know about existence. Yet, whether we find life or not, the search itself is its own kind of grace. It is a continuation of the same curiosity that first made humans look at the moon and wonder. It connects Galileo's trembling hand, Armstrong's cautious step, and the silent orbits of modern probes into one unbroken story. The story of awareness seeking its reflection. There is comfort in that continuity. Life, after all, is not only what we find, but what we seek. The act of wondering, of looking outward and inward. At the same time, is life expressing itself through thought. In searching the skies for company, we affirm our own aliveness. Scientists now plan missions to return to these ocean worlds, to land upon Europa's frozen crust, to sample Enceladus's geysers, to drift through Titan's methane lakes. Each mission will carry not just instruments, but longing, a quiet human hope, folded into steel and code, traveling millions of miles through cold space to whisper one simple question: are you there? If the answer ever comes, it will not arrive in thunder or revelation. It will come softly, as most truths do, a pattern in the data, a molecule in the mist, a faint signal from beneath the ice, a reminder that the universe has been alive all along, speaking in languages we are only beginning to learn. And even if no reply comes, the search will remain beautiful. Because every time we look outward, we rediscover, wonder the feeling that once made us follow the moon map, the stars, and reach for the unknown. The search for life beyond is in the end a search for meaning within. The narration slows. The imagined camera pulls back from the frozen moons, their reflections glimmering faintly in the sun's light. Around them, rings of dust and ice shimmer like halos, and the stars beyond remain silent, patient, eternal. Perhaps somewhere in one of those oceans of shadow, something stirs, something ancient, small, and luminous. Or perhaps the silence itself is the lesson that life, rare or not, is precious because it listens. And so the journey continues, not with answers, but with questions as bright as starlight, guiding us forward through the quiet, infinite dark. The question is ancient. It echoes in myths, in poetry, in the hum of telescopes that sweep the night. We have always wondered whether we are alone, whether some distant eye might look back at us from another world. And now, in the age of exploration, we begin to search, not with imagination alone, but with instruments of light, magnetism, and data machines that listen to the whispers of ice and vapor. The search begins close to home, among the moons. Beneath Europa's frozen crust, an ocean moves global, deep and restless. Though the surface shines with quiet perfection, it is fractured by lines that trace unseen tides below. There, the gravitational pull of Jupiter kneads the interior of the moon, generating warmth, stirring minerals, and perhaps feeding reactions that give rise to life. Scientists imagine vents in the darkness, water rich with salt and heat, rising from rocky seafloors. In those depths, the story of Earth may be repeating the same dance of carbon and energy that long ago created us. A little farther from the sun, another moon breathes Enceladus, bright as snow, small enough to hold in imagination, but powerful enough to shape dreams. From its southern pole, fountains of vapor burst into space, creating a veil of glittering ice that encircles Saturn. When the Cassini spacecraft flew through those plumes, it tasted their contents: water, salt, and complex organic molecules. It was as though the moon had exhaled a secret, a message from beneath its shell saying, "I am not dead. I am still warm inside." And beyond even that, in the hazy gold light of Saturn's orbit, lies Titan, the only moon with thick air, the only place beyond Earth where rain still falls. But here, the rain is made of methane, the lakes dark and slow, the rivers carved in ice. Though its chemistry is alien, Titan's landscapes feel strangely familiar. Clouds, dunes, storms, and seasons, all unfolding under a sun dimmed by distance. It is a world that reminds us that life may not look like us at all, that it might arise from elements we cannot yet imagine. Together, these three moons form a triangle of possibility: Europa, Enceladus, Titan. They are not lush or loud. They do not shimmer with green or pulse with noise. They are quiet, hidden, patient, just as life once was on Earth before it found a voice. To search them is to search for reflection, for the echo of our own beginning, scattered across the cold expanse of the solar system. And perhaps that search, even before it finds an answer, already transforms us. It humbles, it softens, it reminds us that life in all its complexity is not a miracle confined to one world, but a pattern, a rhythm, a tendency of matter to organize and persist. If it happened here, perhaps it happens elsewhere too, not by chance, but by the nature of things. We look outward, not to escape loneliness, but to understand connection. The same atoms that make up your body, the oxygen you breathe, the carbon in your veins, the calcium in your bones, were forged in stars long before Earth was born. Those same atoms drift now through other systems, forming new suns, new planets, new seas. Somewhere perhaps they have found new forms of life. In that sense, we are already everywhere. The search for life beyond Earth is in truth a search for belonging. Every signal we send, every probe we launch, every telescope we build is a gesture of hope, a hand reaching into the dark, not to take, but to touch. Even silence, when it returns, is an answer. It tells us that the universe is listening, that we are part of something vast and ongoing. Imagine it. Now a probe, descending through the orange sky of Titan, parachuting slowly toward a methane lake. The air glows dimly, the ground ripples like glass. Instruments hum, recording chemistry that has never met sunlight. Or, picture a lander drilling into Europa's ice, melting its way down toward the ocean beneath sensors, poised to catch even the faintest signal of motion or heat. Somewhere in the data, in the patterns of molecules and minerals, we might glimpse the simplest trace, an imbalance, a breath, a sign that we are not alone. If life exists elsewhere, it will not shout, it will whisper, it will live in rhythms, in cycles of chemistry, in slow reactions shaped by patience rather than purpose. It will exist not to be found, but simply to be. And when we find it, if we find it, our first reaction will not be triumph. It will be quiet recognition, a feeling that we have met ourselves again in another form. But even if the search yields silence, that silence has meaning too. It tells us that life, fragile and fleeting, is all the more precious here. It reminds us that consciousness, this ability to wonder, is itself a form of rarity. The universe, in all its vastness, has produced at least one mind, capable of asking about its own origins. That, too, is miraculous. In every mission, in every distant scan, we are not just searching for life. We are practicing it, expressing the curiosity that defines it. The act of seeking is life extending itself, learning, evolving, reaching toward understanding. And perhaps that is the deeper truth, that life by nature cannot stop reaching. It expands in every direction, from cell to organism, from planet to space. It grows not only in body, but in awareness. And in that growth lies the quiet beauty of the cosmos itself. The stars overhead are not strangers. They are our past and our potential, the places where our atoms were made and where they may someday return when we search for life beyond. We are not moving away from home. We are coming home in a larger sense, returning to the universe that created us. The story of the moons is not over. It continues quietly, like the turning of tides, like the faint pull of gravity that never stops. And now, as humanity stands at the threshold of the stars, we find ourselves looking once more toward those companions in the dark, not as distant lights to admire, but as neighbors, as homes, as teachers, waiting patiently in orbit. In the future, our bond with the moons will not fade, it will deepen. Already plans unfold in silence missions to return to the moon, to land softly upon its grey dust once again. This time, not to conquer or claim, but to stay. Engineers design habitats that will rest within craters protected from solar glare. Scientists envision observatories built upon lunar ridges, peering into the universe with an unblinking gaze. The moon, once a destination, is becoming a place of belonging, humanity's quiet foothold beyond Earth. Imagine it, a sunrise over the lunar horizon. The Earth rising in slow motion, half blue, half white, suspended above the grey plains. The faint hum of air filters the soft echo of footsteps in low gravity, the silence broken only by the rhythm of breath, steady, human, alive. Here, amid the dust and shadow, the story continues. The first explorers will look upward, as we always have, and see other moons shining faintly in the distance. Europa, Titan, Ganymede, each one a future waiting to unfold. One day ships may sail there too, crossing the black between worlds, not with haste, but with patience, like celestial gardeners, tending the far corners of a vast and living garden. Humanity's expansion into space will not be about power or conquest, but understanding. We are learning that exploration can be gentle, that to touch a world is to listen to it, to coexist with its silence rather than disturb it. Our presence, if it is to last, must harmonize with the rhythms of these places, the cycles of ice and heat, the balance of light and shadow. The future of exploration is not domination, it is empathy. In the coming centuries, the moon may serve as a bridge, a quiet halfway point between home and the infinite. From its surface, spacecraft may depart toward Mars, toward the outer planets, toward the moons that shimmer beyond. And each step outward will feel less like leaving and more like returning to the cosmic family we have always belonged to, though we are only now learning its names. Perhaps one day, someone will walk beneath Titan's orange sky and watch methane rain drift in slow motion, or swim beneath the frozen ceiling of Europa's ocean, tracing the blue light filtering through cracks above. Maybe a small settlement will grow beneath Saturn's rings, its domes glowing softly in reflected light. Each of these visions is distant, but not impossible. The future is vast, and patience is the universe's greatest teacher. Yet even as we imagine these futures, there is something timeless about what binds them all together: companionship. The same force that connects Earth to the moon will connect us to these other worlds, not just through gravity, but through care, curiosity, and reverence. The same wonder that first drew our eyes upward will guide our hands gently forward. We will not be alone. Every spacecraft, every probe, every colony will carry a piece of us, our languages, our songs, our quiet hope, that wherever we go, we bring not just technology, but tenderness. For in the end, what defines humanity is not only our ability to build, but our capacity to wonder, to feel, to dream. And so the moons will become part of our memory, not as symbols of distance, but of continuity. They will remind us that companionship is not confined to life or biology. It exists in the shared rhythm of motion, in orbits, in tides, in the slow turning of celestial bodies that have always been connected. Perhaps long after we are gone, the footprints we leave on the moon will still remain, dust frozen around them like time crystallized. The domes of our first shelters may collapse, our machines fall silent, but the moon will continue to circle the Earth. The Earth will continue to turn, and our small gestures, our reaching hands, our curious eyes will remain part of that eternal motion. In this way, our presence becomes a kind of echo, not loud, not permanent, but resonant. The cosmos does not forget those who have listened to it with humility. It carries their memory in its rhythm the same way the moon carries the pull of the Earth, even as it drifts away. The future of companionship is not measured in miles or missions, but in connection, in the quiet understanding that everything moves together. We are not separate from the moons or the planets or the stars. We are part of their story, as they are part of ours. And somewhere far away, the moon continues its orbit, quiet, faithful, eternal.